After the age of 50, even a few seemingly small eating habits can quietly build up over time and gradually push the risk of heart attack or stroke higher. According to CDC statistics, more than 1.28 million such cases each year could have been prevented simply by making smarter food choices. Yet many people still feel uncertain about what to eat, how much to eat, and when to eat in order to truly support heart health. By analyzing more than 130 research studies and combining them with guidance from trusted health organizations such as the American Heart Association, I have narrowed down the 10 foods considered most essential for people over 50. When used correctly, these foods not only support cardiovascular health, but can also, and in some cases, even reverse many underlying risk factors. If you want to stay healthy, keep your mind sharp, and protect yourself from serious events like stroke or heart attack, this is content you should not miss. Now, let's begin with the first food on the list. Food number 1, naturally fermented vegetables. The first on today's list is naturally fermented vegetables, whether it's kimchi, traditional sauerkraut, or any type of vegetable fermented without pasteurization. They may seem simple, but few people realize how deeply these familiar foods influence the gut-brain-heart axis, the foundational trio that determines vascular health, especially for those over 50. As we enter middle age, the gut microbiome often loses its natural balance. This disruption triggers low-grade inflammation, which weakens the endothelium, the protective inner lining of blood vessels. Once this protective armor is compromised, LDL cholesterol can more easily stick, oxidize, and form atherosclerotic plaque, the root cause behind most heart attacks and strokes. Fermented vegetables deliver billions of live probiotics that help restore and rebalance gut flora. Once in the body, these beneficial bacteria produce short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, compounds that fight systemic inflammation, promote vasodilation, improve insulin sensitivity, and reduce strain on the cardiovascular system. These are key protective mechanisms that help keep the heart and brain safe from dangerous events. A 2021 study published in Hypertension Research found that people who consumed fermented vegetables at least 3 times per week had a 27% lower risk of high blood pressure and a 21% lower risk of cardiovascular events compared to those who did not. One powerful example comes from Raymond, a 68-year-old in Minnesota. Diagnosed with stage 1 hypertension, high cholesterol, and prediabetes, he decided not to increase his medication but instead made dietary changes. Every day, he added 2 tablespoons of raw sauerkraut to his lunch. After 2 months, his blood pressure dropped from 144/88 to 126/76, and his triglyceride levels improved significantly. But what surprised him most was the feeling of lightness in his body. No more waking up at night with bloating or a racing heartbeat. He described it as, "It feels like my body has been renewed from the inside." Fermented vegetables are not a magic cure that works overnight, but with consistent use, they improve nutrient absorption, reduce baseline inflammation, and activate optimal vascular protection. Just 1 to 2 tablespoons a day is enough to help block the progression toward heart attack and stroke. What your body needs is not large quantities, but steady, smart choices. And coming up next, we'll explore a naturally sweet food that acts as a silent shield protecting the brain from minor strokes. Something many people believe they should avoid, yet in reality, it's a highly effective secret for slowing blood vessel aging. Food 2. Berries. The second food that people over 50 should add to their daily meals is berries. This group includes mulberries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, and blackberries. They're small, slightly sweet, and easy to eat. But what matters most is not the taste, it's their powerful ability to protect the body. Berries are high in anthocyanin and polyphenols. These are natural compounds that help fight off harmful elements that can damage blood vessels, create buildup inside the arteries, and make brain cells age faster. In other words, berries act as a natural defense system to protect the tiny blood vessels in your brain and heart from silent damage. A 20-year study from Harvard Medical School showed that women who ate at least 3 servings of berries a week had up to a 32% lower risk of heart attack. Also, the polyphenols in berries helped improve blood flow to the brain, boost memory, and slow down memory loss in older adults. What's more, berries have a low sugar effect compared to many other fruits. That means you can eat them without worrying about sudden blood sugar spikes, which is important especially for people with early signs of diabetes or issues with metabolism. Last year, I had a patient, Mrs. Teresa, 71 years old, living in Arizona. She started adding half a cup of blackberries to her breakfast with oatmeal and flax seeds after a mild stroke. After about 8 weeks, she felt clearer mentally and stopped forgetting words in the middle of talking. Most importantly, her blood pressure and blood sugar also stayed in a better range without needing new medicine. What I want to make clear is that berries are not just a healthy snack. They are real food that can protect the inside lining of your blood vessels, improve how flexible your arteries are, and help blood flow better to your brain and heart. All you need is to eat a few grams of berries each day, rotating different types based on the season. You can add them to your breakfast or afternoon snack. It will be a precious gift to your health. And you might be surprised to learn that the next food on the list actually contains fat, but not the harmful kind. This is the kind that may lower blood pressure, relax your blood vessels, and help steady your heartbeat in just a few weeks.
Food 3. Avocados. When it comes to fat, many people over 50 often feel afraid. But not all fat is bad, and avocados are one of the strongest sources of good fat for heart health. Avocados are rich in monounsaturated fat. This kind of fat helps lower bad cholesterol, LDL, and raise good cholesterol, HDL. That means it helps clear out your blood vessels and prevents the buildup that blocks blood flow. This buildup is a major reason why heart attacks and strokes happen. Avocados also have a lot of potassium. One medium avocado gives you around 700 to 800 milligrams of potassium, which is even more than a banana. And here's the key. Potassium helps balance fluids in the body, relax blood vessels, and lower blood pressure naturally. This is very important for anyone who wants to avoid stroke. A study published in 2015 in the Journal of the American Heart Association showed that people who ate avocados often had a 20% lower risk of heart problems thanks to how it helped both cholesterol and blood pressure. I remember one specific case that really stood out. Mr. Daniel, 64 years old from California, had a mini stroke in 2022. After recovering, he decided to change his meals. Every morning, he started eating half an avocado with a boiled egg and green vegetables instead of his usual breakfast sandwich. After just 6 weeks, his morning blood pressure dropped from 150/90 to 128/80. His heart rate became more steady and he was able to sleep more deeply at night. The interesting thing is that avocados not only help your heart, but also help your body take in vitamins that dissolve in fat, like A, D, E, and K. When you eat avocados with green vegetables or carrots, your body can absorb more of the helpful nutrients that reduce swelling and damage. If you're looking for a food that tastes good, is easy to prepare, and clearly supports blood vessel health after age 50, then avocados are a must-have. And if you think fat is already powerful, just wait for the next food. It used to be seen as the enemy of heart health. But when you choose the right kind, it can be one of the best foods for clearing blood vessels and helping your body repair what's already been damaged.
Food 4. Dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is not something most people would expect to be on a list of heart-friendly foods. But if you choose the right kind and use it the right way, it can be one of the sweet tools to help improve blood flow and reduce the risk of heart attack or stroke. Dark chocolate with a cacao level of 70% or higher is full of flavonoids. These are strong natural compounds that help your body make more nitric oxide. When your body produces more nitric oxide, your blood vessels can open up more easily. This improves blood flow, lowers the pressure inside your arteries, and helps keep your blood pressure under control. This is especially helpful for older adults who often face problems with stiff or narrow blood vessels and long-term high blood pressure.
Nitric oxide also helps improve how well your blood vessels can stretch and recover, which is key to keeping your circulation healthy. A review of 8 large studies published in the BMJ journal showed that people who ate a small amount of dark chocolate regularly had a 37% lower chance of heart problems and a 29% lower chance of stroke compared to those who didn't eat it. I once worked with Mrs. Ellen, 73 years old, from Oregon. After a small stroke, her doctor told her to cut back on sugar and starch. Instead of eating sweet desserts, she started having 2 small pieces of plain dark chocolate each night. After 3 months, her top blood pressure reading dropped from 142 to 132. She slept better and felt more clear-minded and refreshed. The key is choosing the right kind of dark chocolate. What you need is real dark chocolate with 70% or more cacao and no added sugar or milk. Many of the milk chocolates in stores may taste good, but they're full of sugar and unhealthy fat that can work against your heart health. Just 10 to 20 grams per day, or about 2 small squares, is enough to give your body the benefits without adding too many calories or raising your blood sugar. And the most important part is using it consistently every day. Dark chocolate is not just a snack. When used the right way, it can become an important part of your plan to prevent heart attack and stroke after age 50. Dark chocolate can help your blood move better and lower your blood pressure. But the next food goes deeper. It works on the way blood clots form inside your body. It's not sweet, not creamy, and even has a strong smell. But if you leave it out, the chance of having a sudden stroke at the moment you least expect it can go up a lot.
Food 5. Garlic. Garlic is one of the oldest foods used by humans to support health. But today, modern science is finally showing that garlic plays a special role in protecting blood vessels and helping prevent sudden strokes. Garlic contains a sulfur compound called allicin. When garlic is chopped or crushed, allicin is released and works as a natural blood thinner. It helps make the blood slightly thinner and stops platelets from sticking together. That lowers the chance of clots forming inside your blood vessels. What many people don't know is that low-dose aspirin works in a similar way, by stopping platelets from sticking together, just like allicin in garlic. Aspirin is given to millions of people after a stroke. But unlike medicine, allicin doesn't raise the risk of stomach bleeding. It also helps reduce damage from stress and swelling in the body. That makes garlic a natural and promising choice for lowering the chance of heart problems without causing unwanted side effects. This is a very important effect for people over 50. As we age, the chance of getting a clot by accident becomes higher. A small clot traveling to the brain can lead to a mini stroke or worse, a full stroke. If the clot travels to the heart, it can cause a heart attack. Garlic also helps lower total cholesterol, gently reduce blood pressure, and improve how flexible blood vessels are. One study in Germany followed more than 200 older adults and found that taking garlic extract for 5 months lowered bad cholesterol by 12% and clearly helped blood flow. Here's a real story from Mr. Harold, 66 years old, who lives in Texas. After a mild stroke left him with slurred speech and numbness on one side of his face, he began to change his eating habits. Every morning, he ate 1 crushed clove of raw garlic with a spoon of olive oil and half a cup of warm water. Within 3 months, the signs of blood vessel problems got much better. He said that for the first time in years, he could walk uphill without feeling short of breath. You can eat garlic raw, lightly roasted, or mixed into salads. But if you want the most allicin, crush the garlic and let it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes before eating. And if your stomach is sensitive, eat it with a little oil or other food to avoid discomfort. Just 1 clove of garlic a day can make a big difference in stopping sudden heart or brain problems. What matters most is not taking a high dose, but being consistent and using it the right way. If you're wondering whether there's a food that can protect your blood vessels and help manage your blood sugar, the root of both stroke and heart attack, then the answer is coming up next.
Food 6. Leafy greens. Leafy greens are one of the most important foods that anyone who wants to protect their heart and brain, you should eat every day. It's no coincidence that almost every eating plan designed to prevent stroke or heart attack starts with vegetables. Vegetables like spinach, kale, romaine, lettuce, and chicory are rich in natural nitrates. When they enter the body, nitrates turn into nitric oxide, which helps open up blood vessels, lower blood pressure, and improve blood flow. This is why eating leafy greens regularly each day can greatly lower the risk of high blood pressure, something that causes more than 80% of strokes and heart attacks. A large study in Australia followed over 50,000 people for nearly 23 years. It found that eating just 60 to 80 grams of leafy greens per day could lower the chance of heart problems by 12 to 26%. Even people who already had high blood pressure saw real benefits if they kept eating greens regularly. Leafy greens also have strong natural protectors like lutein, beta-carotene, and vitamin C. These nutrients help defend the inside lining of your blood vessels from damage and swelling. That helps keep your blood vessels flexible, prevents buildup, and improves blood flow to the brain. Judith, a 69-year-old woman from Seattle, had to go to the hospital after a small stroke while walking home in hot weather. After she recovered, she started adding kale to her morning smoothies and had spinach salad at lunch instead of white rice. After 8 weeks, her blood pressure dropped by 14 points. Her cholesterol got better, and she felt more clear and focused throughout the day. What matters most is eating enough and eating a mix of greens. Just having boiled vegetables with rice is not enough. You need raw vegetables, blended greens in smoothies, steamed greens, or lightly roasted ones to keep all the good stuff inside. If you can eat greens with a little good fat like olive oil or avocado to help your body absorb the vitamins better. Leafy greens may seem simple, but they're a strong base for a healthy blood system. If you truly care about preventing heart attack and stroke, this is something you should never skip. You can eat greens every day to help keep your blood vessels clean. But what if some buildup has already started and you don't even know it? The next food doesn't just stop the damage. It may even help break down those layers that have been quietly building up. And what's even more surprising is that it also acts like a shield to protect your brain as you get older. Food 7. Walnuts. Walnuts are not just a healthy snack. They are actually a superfood for people over 50 who want to protect both their heart and brain from serious problems like heart attack and stroke. Walnuts are rich in omega-3, fats called ALA. When they enter the body, ALA is partly changed into EPA and DHA. These fats help lower swelling in the body, which can reduce the chance of plaque buildup and help keep blood pressure steady. Unlike other nuts, walnuts also have a large amount of polyphenols and vitamin E. These act as protectors against damage and help keep the cells in your blood vessels strong. This is very important for older people because the inner lining of the blood vessels gets weaker over time. A study from Harvard University followed more than 210,000 people for 20 years. It showed that people who ate at least 2 servings of walnuts a week lowered their chance of heart disease by 19% and lowered their stroke risk by 13%. This was especially true for older people who already had high blood pressure or slightly high cholesterol. Richard used to feel dizzy every morning when getting out of bed. One day, he even had trouble speaking clearly for a few minutes. Tests showed he had a small stroke. He didn't wait. He changed his meals and added 5 to 7 walnuts each morning, either by themselves or mixed into yogurt. After 2 months, his blood pressure dropped from 148 to 130. His cholesterol got better, and he felt more clear-headed. Most importantly, he didn't have any more warning signs for the entire year after that. Walnuts also help with memory and thinking. A study in Spain showed that older adults who ate walnuts every day could focus better and had faster reaction times after 12 months. Walnuts are one of the few foods that are good for both the heart and the brain as we age. You can eat walnuts raw, lightly roasted, or mix them into salads, oatmeal, or smoothies without needing any complicated cooking. But remember to watch the portion. About 28 grams a day, or a small handful, is enough because walnuts are high in calories. If you are looking for a food that protects your blood vessels and helps keep your memory sharp after 60, walnuts are one of the best choices. But if you think that's the limit, it's not. Up next is a very common root vegetable that can lower blood pressure within hours and boost blood flow to your brain naturally. And the surprising part is, it's often overlooked in the meals of older adults.
Food. Beetroot. Beetroot is a common food, but often not given enough attention in the daily meals of older adults. That's unfortunate because it's one of the most powerful foods for quickly lowering blood pressure and helping more blood reach the brain. Beets are full of natural nitrate. When this enters the body, it turns into nitric oxide. This helps open up the blood vessels, improves blood flow, and lowers pressure on the heart. Nitric oxide also helps protect the inside layer of blood vessels from swelling and harmful particles. For people over 50, when blood vessels start to lose flexibility, this becomes even more important. A study from Queen Mary University in London found that drinking beetroot juice can lower blood pressure in just 3 to 6 hours. The top number of blood pressure readings can drop by 8 to 10 mmHg, which is about the same as some mild blood pressure medicine. The special part is there were no serious side effects. Beetroot also has betalain, a natural red-purple color that works as a strong protector against swelling. It's also a good source of folate, which helps lower the amount of homocysteine in the blood. High levels of this have been linked to both stroke and heart problems. 6 months ago, Margaret, age 68, one of my patients in California, was taking 2 kinds of medicine every day just to keep her blood pressure under control. But after she started adding beet juice to her breakfast each day, her blood pressure stayed more steady, and her doctor slowly reduced the medicine. She told me she felt more clear-headed and didn't feel dizzy anymore when standing up quickly like before. You can use fresh beets to make juice or steam them lightly to keep their good parts inside. Some people mix beetroot with orange, carrot, or apple to make it taste better. Just keep in mind that beetroot may turn your pee pink or red. This is normal and not harmful. With its power to improve blood pressure, boost blood flow, and fight swelling, beetroot deserves a place in your meals each week if you are serious about preventing heart attack and stroke. Beetroot can help lower blood pressure quickly, but the next root might actually be the key to stopping a hidden stroke from happening while you sleep. It's so familiar that many people eat it every day without knowing what it can really do. Food 9. Sweet potato. Sweet potatoes used to be misunderstood as having too much starch and being bad for people with heart problems. But the truth is, this root can actually help balance blood sugar, reduce swelling inside the body, and protect the blood vessels if used the right way. Sweet potatoes have a medium level of natural sugar release. That's much lower than white rice or regular potatoes. Thanks to the high fiber and special starch inside, they slow down how fast sugar enters your blood. This helps keep insulin steady and reduces pressure on your heart and brain. This is especially helpful for people over 50, who are more likely to have trouble with blood sugar or early signs of diabetes. A study published in the journal Clinical Nutrition found that middle-aged people who ate sweet potatoes at least 3 times a week had 17% better insulin levels and 13% lower blood sugar than those who didn't eat them. Sweet potatoes are also rich in beta-carotene, which turns into vitamin A in the body. This helps fight harmful particles that damage the inside of blood vessels and helps calm down long-term inflammation. On top of that, sweet potatoes have a good amount of potassium, which helps keep blood pressure in a safe range. 1 medium sweet potato gives you about 12% of the potassium you need each day. Purple sweet potatoes have something extra, a special group of natural colors called anthocyanins. These help block certain harmful signals in the body, like IL-6 and TNF-alpha. These signals are often high in people with clogged arteries or those who've had a stroke. A study from Louisiana State University found that adding purple sweet potatoes to meals every day for 8 weeks helped improve how the body handled insulin,
lowered swelling in the body, and made fat levels in the blood better. In that study, the bad cholesterol dropped 15%, triglycerides dropped 18%, and the top blood pressure number went down by an average of 9 points. Donna, 63, used to work as an office accountant. She shared that she often felt tired after lunch, especially when eating white rice or bread. After switching to baked sweet potatoes with lunch and cutting back on refined carbs, she said she felt lighter, more clear-headed, and her blood pressure became much more steady. The surprise? She also lost 3 kilos without having to go on a strict diet. The best way to enjoy sweet potatoes is to steam or bake them. Avoid frying or eating them with butter. Purple sweet potatoes are great for reducing swelling, while orange ones are better for getting more beta-carotene. No matter which you choose, they're a great replacement for white carbs in your daily meals. Sweet potatoes aren't just a healthy source of energy, they're also a trusted friend for anyone over 50 who wants to prevent heart attack and stroke. Now, get ready for the final food. It may seem like just a spice you use in cooking, but it's actually a natural shield for your blood vessels. And it's been proven to fight the silent swelling that builds up inside your bloodstream. Food 10. Ginger. Ginger is a spice found in most kitchens, but very few people know that it's also a powerful natural protector for the heart and blood vessels, especially when it comes to preventing stroke and heart attack in older adults. Ginger contains gingerol, which gives it its strong, spicy flavor. Gingerol helps fight swelling and damage inside the body. It also helps keep blood moving better by gently relaxing the blood vessels and making the blood less sticky. This lowers the chance of clots forming inside the arteries. A 2020 study published in the journal Nutrition followed over 4,600 adults in China. It found that people who ate ginger every day had a 13% lower risk of heart problems compared to those who didn't eat it. Ginger also helps control bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower triglycerides, especially in people who eat a lot of fatty foods. A study in Iran showed that people who took 2 grams of ginger powder every day for 12 weeks lowered their triglycerides by 17% and their LDL cholesterol by 8%. That's not all. Ginger can also help lower blood pressure by blocking an enzyme in the body, working in a similar way to some blood pressure drugs. For people over 50, this is important because it takes pressure off the heart and helps prevent sudden stroke. Henry, 71 years old, from Arizona, is a clear example. After a small stroke, his doctor warned him about the high chance of another one happening within 6 months. Along with adjusting his medicine, he started drinking fresh ginger tea every morning, cut down on salt, and added more vegetables. 6 months later, his blood test showed lower CRP, better fat levels, and no signs of stroke risk came back. Ginger can be used fresh, sliced thin into tea, or crushed into soups and stews. You can also use it in powder or capsule form if you need a steady amount. But don't take more than 4 grams per day. And if you are on blood-thinning medicine, talk to your doctor before using it regularly. Ginger is a perfect example of the saying, simple is best. In the world of foods that help prevent heart attack and stroke, sometimes just one small piece of ginger a day can make a real difference. And if you've watched this far, you deserve to hear something special. In the final part, I'll show you how to bring all these foods together into one strong daily habit that protects your heart and brain after 50. We've just gone through 10 powerful and natural foods that can help prevent heart attack and stroke. Each one works in its own way to protect your body by keeping your blood vessels clean, reducing swelling, balancing blood pressure, supporting memory, and slowing down brain aging. But the most important thing isn't remembering every detail. It's turning these foods into habits. You don't need to eat all 10 every day. Instead, choose at least 3 to 5 that work for you and add them into your meals in a simple and lasting way. For example, you might start your morning with a small glass of beetroot juice or warm ginger tea. Have breakfast with oatmeal and walnuts. Lunch could include salmon with dark leafy greens or roasted sweet potatoes. Dinner can be even simpler. Just add a bit of raw chopped garlic to your salad or cook it with vegetables.
And if you feel tired during the day, a piece of dark chocolate not only lifts your energy, but also helps nourish your blood vessels. Don't treat food like medicine. Treat it like a partner. Every right choice you make today brings you one step closer to long-term health in the next 10 or 20 years. And for those over 50, this isn't just something you should do, it's something you need to do. If you've had a mini stroke, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or if you simply want to live longer and feel better, start with these simple foods. No need for complicated plans or strict diets. Just be steady, follow the right path, and stick with it long enough. You now have the knowledge. Now it's time to turn that knowledge into action. Start with your next meal. Thank you for watching this video until the end. If today's information has helped you better understand how to protect your heart and brain after age 50, click like to help spread this message to more people. Hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell to continue joining us on the journey of exploring simple, practical nutrition and lifestyle habits that deliver long-lasting results. I would also love to hear your story. Share in the comments the food or small habit you believe is helping you keep your heart healthy. Your words might just be the starting point for someone else to make changes and live healthier each day. Wishing you boundless energy and peace in every beat of your heart.